As many of you know, I am Tom Schreier, and I have the privilege of being the founding director of the Inspired Leadership Initiative here at Notre Dame, and the director for this series on ThinkND, Inspiring Conversations. This semester, we are discussing leading people in an ever-changing world. Our guest for our next conversation is Lewis King, who will be discussing the day after tomorrow. I have to admit that when I heard this title, it harkened me back many years to a movie I watched while at Notre Dame, back when you had to go to an auditorium to see a movie. In this case, it was Washington Hall, and the movie was The Day After, about what was then the greatest existential threat to humanity, nuclear Armageddon. Not to diminish that threat today, and perhaps in some ways to contextualize the complexity of our world. Our series this semester focuses on two other very real threats, the COVID pandemic and the now more real threat, more broadly realized threat, I should say, of racial inequity. These threats and the consequent impact of them on our society, economy, and humanity are the reason we want to bring inspired leaders to you, our audience. In our conversation, Lewis and I will talk about the changes to our society that are happening at an ever more rapid pace, the challenges all of us are facing in adapting, and the even more acute challenges for those who face structural disadvantage as a result of race, educational disparities, and other factors. Equally importantly, we will hear from Lewis what he has actually done, is doing, and plans to do to help make the day after tomorrow better for all, especially for those in the challenged community he works. He will talk about his work as president and CEO of Summit Academy, his work as an influential board member in education and healthcare and more broadly in the community, his service on and leadership of critical community organizations, and other key roles he plays. There are few people I know who are as unwavering as Lewis in fulfilling his purpose. He is not afraid to articulate what may not be popular, if it is right, and to fight for those he represents or don't have a voice. Beyond being a spokesperson and leader, he also gets things done, like creating a STEM district to develop the skills needed for the day after tomorrow in those who have not heretofore had that chance. His vision, his persistence, and his tenacity, coupled with his humanity, have made him an incredibly effective and inspired leader. I also want to note that accessible through ThinkND are some videos which will help to show a bit of who Lewis is as a private person and as a leader. I recommend that you watch these in advance of our conversation, as they will provide valuable context for our discussion. I can't wait for this conversation, which is sure to provide another layer of insight and inspiration for all who have the opportunity to participate.